let's get right into it. We had a big fight this last weekend. I know you watched closely. I know everybody's ready for your opinion, your analysis of the fight. I think you picked Errol, right? Errol Spence, right, in this fight. Um,
that was my favorite to win, but I mean,
yeah.
originally I thought that Crawford might edge it out, but I don't know. I was just like, I've seen Spence get doubted too many times and do his thing, but clearly that wasn't the case in this one.
No, no,
Uh,
no.
yeah, it went out pretty sad. It was I don't know if he was off that day. I'd never seen Crawford look that good or Spence look that bad all at the same time. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. I feel if you guys don't know what we're talking about is Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Two
Mhm.
big time fighters, both undefeated, both super knockout, well, not super knockout power. They both had knockout power, winning a lot of matches by KO. I don't know their official records. Maybe you know their official records, what they were.
I believe Crawford is what 30, I want to say 34 with I'm not sure how many. I know he's had like out of his last
It's been 20 something.
16 fights, he's had all knockouts,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
And Errol Spence hasn't had a knockout in a while, but I think he was like shit 28 with like 22 knockouts. 20,
Yeah,
20
something
28 no with
crazy.
22 knockouts. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and if you saw the fight, you saw what happened. I saw a lot of people pre-fight picking Errol Spence, just kind of just being confident of what they saw in his past, and just kind of doubting Bud Crawford. I don't know why though, because of the last couple of fights I saw from Bud Crawford, he was really dominant. Heard some backstory about him being blackballed by Errol Spence's promotion company that he's with, PBC or whatever.
Not really. He wasn't blackballed. It wasn't him. It was more of he was with Bob Arum.
Hmm.
And Bob Arum is just kind of like a racist. I don't know. To me, I feel like he doesn't support his black fighters as much. He's starting to do it now because that's all he kind of has left.
Hmm.
But notoriously, he was always supporting other races over them, and he was also part of the problem because he had Pacquiao under his reign, and he wouldn't let Bud Crawford fight Pacquiao because conflict of interest. If he
Hmm.
knew Bud Crawford would have destroyed Pacquiao, and they didn't want that. So a lot of the fights that he wasn't getting was due to his promotion, and the fact that PBC, who was ran by Al Heyman, doesn't like Bob Arum. They don't like each
Hmm.
other,
Hmm.
mostly because Bob Arum just talks shit about him, but they don't like each other. So because of that, PBC has a lot more good fighters and at least notable fighters. So they tend to fight each other a lot and get a lot more, recognition. And on the other side of the street, as they call it, you just I don't know, they don't really mingle or intercross too much because their promotions don't do business with each other.
I feel that. Yeah. So there's a lot of, in the press conferences and a lot of the build up to the fight, there was a lot of like animosity, a lot of name calling. You know, you got to do it to build up the fights and stuff like that. But this is supposed to be one of the bigger fights of the year. Big fighters like this don't get in the ring and actually fight each other. A lot of times you see them ducking each other. But this year we're getting a bunch of big fights that I think are pretty impressive. But the fight in general, man, what did you see from round one to round nine when the fight actually ended? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
Earl just looked slow to me. He just looked real slow for some reason. Like everything he did looked slow. What he did wrong was he was reaching a lot. He was doing
Yeah.
these little reaching jabs where he was
Hmm.
like reaching in, but like his body was completely out of position. And if you got somebody who's as accurate and tactical as Bud Crawford, he just took advantage of it. It made it look easy.
Yeah.
He
He would
was
do these
just
reach
touching
and
him at
try to
will. And I don't,
body shots. Like you're not gonna
yeah,
get
I
those.
don't,
And every time you set yourself up for that counter, just getting your ass jabbed right back in the face, hella hard.
yeah. And not to mention, like, Bud is right handed, but he fights southpaw a lot of the times. So if you know anybody who's right handed, that's their dominant hand, which means his jab is like way harder than a normal boxer's jab.
Hmm.
So he's jabbing him with power jabs. And that's why he went down the first time and time after that and shit. But it was like, to me, Earl just like his timing was completely off. He was slow as shit.
Hmm.
And I don't know. He looked like he had power when he was hitting him. You could see he had some power to it, but it was like he was hitting glove.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think he ever actually fucking fully touched Crawford except for to the body a couple times.
Right, because it looked like
Uh,
Crawford could have knocked him out a lot earlier, but he was still being cautious of Spence's power, so he wouldn't go all the way in and commit to trying to do that.
I don't even think he was being cautious. Like if you look at the build to the fight, they had a lot of respect for each other. Errol was talking a little bit of shit, but for the most part, whenever they had interviews, they both were being really respectful of each other. And I think they just had respect for each other because the way the fight was put together, they both did it themselves. They
Mm,
spoke on the phone to each other and figured everything out. They said fuck the promotions and stuff. So I think he had respect, and he was like seeing that fuck, I'm destroying this kid. Or well, he's yeah, I guess he is older than Errol Spence, but he was like, I'm destroying him. So I feel like he just pulled back his foot off the pedal for a while
mm,
and wasn't really going in because I think he could have they should have stopped the fight earlier. First of
yeah,
all, they should have stopped it
yeah,
like the seventh round,
mm,
and he pulled his foot off the pedal when he seen that I'm fucking this dude. Like every time he wanted to hit him, he was hitting him, and not like kind of he was hitting him hard.
yeah,
So it was like I don't know. To me, he looked like it didn't look like Errol Spence and Crawford. It may. I don't think it was Crawford was just in rare form that day. I think Crawford was just being Crawford. Errol was just not Errol. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe that car accident was catching up
I
with
was
him or
gonna
something.
ask you
I
about
don't
that.
know.
That there was a doctor that said maybe it looked like he had residual, kind of like brain damage from the being ejected from that car in the car accident or something like that.
Yeah, I've been saying that since I first heard him talk. Now, I thought it was maybe because of him losing his teeth and stuff, but I noticed that he talked way slower since the very first interview I saw him. I'm like, he sounds hella different. He talks slower. He sounds like he already has like CTE kicking in or something
Mm-hmm.
like that when he talks.
Right.
He always had like the weird twang to his voice from being from Texas, and
Mm-hmm.
like when he talks, his voice always cracks. It's always been like that since the beginning. But he just seems like he just has to think of everything before he speaks, and he's real slow with his speech.
Right. People saying he
So,
looked
like,
high and just a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
Well, he always kind of got those kind of eyes that kind of look like he's a little bit lit all the time, and but they did look super glossed over. His eyes looked real glossy throughout the whole tournament. The whole even like before the fight though, it was looking like that when he was doing the press conference and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't
You think
know,
he gets a
but
rematch?
I don't. If he can do so, he can figure out a way to like fix that timing and not look so damn sluggish. I mean, I think he'll give him the rematch. Yeah, I think Crawford will give it to him just because. But after that performance, I don't know if it was like warranted. But
Yeah.
I would
Speaking
like
of,
to see him at least. Huh?
go ahead, go finish. Go ahead.
I said I would like to see him redeem himself, but I don't know if it's even possible after that performance. I don't know
Yeah, it was pretty
because
bad. Pretty bad.
it was.
Yeah, there's a bunch of celebrities out there in support of Spence too. It's kind of crazy. Everybody just knew. But Bud was
Yeah.
on a mission ever since the opening. The walk in. Did you see the walk in for Errol Spence?
Oh yeah, he had Eminem who didn't even perform. He just walked in with him,
No, Earl, not
and
Bud, but Errol Spence. Who the big dude he got out. He brought out his name was Big 30. This dude from
oh yeah,
Texas.
he always brings out somebody from Texas.
But
Yeah,
it was terrible. He was rapping before the track and it was just like double. You didn't hear it? Did you hear it?
yeah, I heard it.
I
Yeah, it
think
didn't
that's
sound like
why
he was right.
Eminem didn't rap. He was like, fuck that. Like, if his audio is fucked up like that and it was before the beat, they're gonna make me sound terrible. So maybe I'll just go in there and make a little
Probably.
announcement and walk in. You know what I mean? Some people saying the
Yeah,
bag wasn't big enough, but once he came out with Eminem to lose yourself, a lot of people said, oh, they knew from that moment that some shit was about to go down. But
yeah. I don't know,
also
but if it, what's up?
also I didn't know Bud was fucking sponsored by Prime like that. You know, Logan and KSI's little
Oh,
sport drinks where he had the chain on, he had the fucking hat. How did they
they
get so
paying him.
big, brother? On there and you and UFC promotions, they're on the back like backdrop. Like their business
Because
must
you
be
got
huge.
two of the like the most two of the richest YouTubers in the world are, I guess, content creators in the world back in this company. Of course, I mean, look, KSI got I don't know 10 something million subscribers over in UK. He's like the biggest thing in UK, and you got Logan Paul, I think it is,
Yes, Logan.
over here, and I don't know how many subscribers he got, but I mean,
This was a
I
WWE
know he got a
superstar now.
yeah. So
This
they
fool is
both
big.
are multi-millionaires, so they got a
It's
lot of money
crazy.
back in that company. I've never tried them, so I don't know how good they are,
Yeah, me
but
either.
yeah,
They have an energy drink and like a Gatorade type of beverage, I guess. If you want to sponsor us,
mm,
Prime, you can do that. But yeah.
yeah, I'll start
Hopefully,
drinking them.
congratulations, Bud Crawford. Shoot, he solidified himself. He is what do they call it when they unified? What is it?
Yeah,
What
he's
is
a
it?
unified welterweight champion in the world. Yes, He's actually unified in two different weights. So he was unified before he moved up to this weight class. So
Mm,
he had all the belts then, gave them all up, came up to this weight class, and got them all up here. And yeah, like now they're trying to say Gerard Ennis, who's a good
yeah,
fighter,
I heard about him.
but yeah, they keep trying to get him to fight him, and I'm like, Gerard ain't really fought anybody of like notable like with but Crawford, he had to run through a bunch of people to get to Spence. Spence ran through a bunch of known fighters and ex champions and shit like that, or people who were current champions at the time to get to where his status was. And Gerard Ennis, though he is a great fighter, he hasn't really fought anybody that would be like that would make you say, "Oh, he the shit," you know.
Right. Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, they've
looking
been saying the
forward.
same thing about. I mean, you say what?
I was gonna say I'm looking forward to the Charlo Canelo fight. It seems like it'll be a
Yeah,
little
I don't know what's gonna
interesting.
happen there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
And it's a possible Shakur and Lomachenko. And there's some stuff. There's some stuff out there.
Yeah,
Shakur kind of
did
put
you
that. He's
see
trying
the
to get that together on Instagram today.
did you see the Japanese fighter
I,
Inoue versus
yeah, I've been seeing him.
Fulton?
Yeah, I've been seeing him on
Yeah,
Instagram too. Been
so
knocking
he
niggas out.
fought on Tuesday against another champion, Fulton, and he beat the shit out of Fulton. It was like it wasn't as bad as what happened to Errol Spence, but it was close,
Mm,
um, real close. But people were saying that he's the best boxer in the world over Crawford, and I'm like, I don't see that. I think that he's close, but not there because like Stephen Fulton only fought like two people that I would say are like notable people, Figueroa and I forgot the other dude. But to me, Stephen Fulton wasn't like somebody that I would say he was a solidified great fighter. He was a very good fighter, but he hadn't proven himself to be a great fighter.
mm,
And the only other person that in a way has fought that I would say is on that level is Nonito Donero, who just got knocked out right before Errol Spence got knocked
mm.
out. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. He didn't get knocked out. Did he get knocked out? He got his ass beat. I know that. But I don't know. It's like in a way it's real good, but he has to fight against some people who are super who we know all. Everybody knows who they are, and they've been solidified in boxing. And I think that he can. Don't get me wrong. I think he can, but I wouldn't put him as the best fighter right now over Terrence Crawford at all, because Terrence Crawford has proven himself time and time again against great fighters. You know.
Mm. I feel that. I feel that.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast.